Thanks for joining us for another episode of Just a Guy in a Truck. As always, I'm your host, Stanley. This week we have the wonderful guest, James Kelley. Now, I will warn you, with this episode, we did have some technical issues, and by that I mean I forgot to turn on the microphones when we did the original recording. So James and I sat down afterwards and rewatched the recording and kind of gave our commentary. It is kind of unfortunate that we missed it because it was a good episode, but I think the re-recording was just as good. We talked about where he's from, where he came from, kind of his backstory, and how he came to be the guy in charge of Punx in the Park, which is an awesome event that helps kids in the Salem-Keizer area. So we hope you enjoy the episode, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. All right, we're back. We're going to try and record some audio over the dub track. As future me probably led on, is that we messed up by not recording the audio in the truck with an amazing podcast. It was a good episode. It was so good. And so now I have James here. We're recording a separate. We're not picking up currently, so we're just going to watch along with everybody else.
Kind of reminds me of the Tenacious D's best song in the world.
Yeah, yes. This is just a tribute.
It's just a tribute.
So, this is my rough, this is kind of how it sets up. I edit on CapCut, which maybe I need to change that, but
CapCut's okay. As far as editing video is concerned, I use Motion Ninja.
Okay.
And I don't think there's too much.
You were so
fat.
I was going to say, I was actually noticing you got a little bit of man boob hanging up.
Yeah, I noticed that the other day when you were showing back this in silent. And it was just flopping around out there.
Yeah.
It was not
that right boob.
Yeah. Oh,
hey,
well.
That's okay.
USD.
I got this gut thing going on.
You got what?
Here. My gut.
What?
I got that bean-shaped dad bod.
Oh my god.
Anyways, yeah. So we're just in this part. I'm explaining the rules. That's what I'm doing, and we're talking about the points on the board that mean nothing. It's like whose line is it anyway?
Right, and this was literally 10 minutes after I woke up.
Yeah, because you woke up late.
I woke up late. You were hanging out.
No, you woke up on time.
And then I went back to sleep.
And then you went back to sleep.
Yeah. I'm bad at that.
You shouldn't do it.
I shouldn't, but there's a lot of things that I shouldn't do that I do. Like guess my weight perfectly at 720, I believe.
I don't remember it being that. It definitely wasn't. You didn't guess it perfectly at 720, but even if you did, it was still 700.
Oh, okay. It was closer to 800.
Yeah, I think you said like 860 or something like that.
Something
You're pretty good, but I mean 700 is pretty solid.
Not
mean,
bad.
If we counted yours and what will be part 2's weight, that'll be technically a record, but I'm still giving it to Wendy because it was one person.
Maybe if I would have worked a little bit harder, I could have shed some water weight. But this was actually a pretty kicked back experience. I thought that we would be huffing and puffing out there, but not so bad.
It's not terrible. Even in our normal daily, like, one of the things I was going to talk about, we actually just finished a job working over at the West Salem branch of Liberty House.
Okay.
So they're closing up out there, and they're moving their office back to the one off of Liberty. And when we're out of the truck, it is huffing and puffing. It is,
Right.
But after the work is going and we're in the truck, it's just kind of go.
Well, between jobs and trips to the dump, that's your reprieve from the day, right?
Yeah. The truck doesn't have air conditioning, so that sucks, but
yeah, I like the cold weather. I don't know how you do it without AC. Now, I grew up without all that, but I also have adult money now, so
right. I think it's my it's one of those. It's like a bad relationship where you're just like, you know what? I'll overlook. I love the truck so much. It's such a beautiful like. They actually thought about things back then when they made them, and they like. There's sort of an old time beauty, a retro beauty to the truck.
Mm-hmm.
It's got crazy low miles for its year. It's a 96 with just over 55,000 miles.
That's nothing.
Right, that's nothing.
That is nothing.
And we
when they built things not to break.
Right, they built things not to break, or at least when they do break, they're easy to fix.
Yeah.
I actually got a little bit of man boob going on my left side, so I think it's just the angle.
Good.
So I'm seeing that right now. Anyway, yeah. So you were telling your story about how you grew up in Gresham in this part. So you want to go over that?
Grew up in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
And
Oregon, not Wisconsin.
I was telling you about the Immaculate Birth, and then how I forgot that might have been somebody else. But grew up in Milwaukee. Bounced around a lot with my mom and stepdads, and going from living at the coast in Portland and Arizona for a bit, and Milwaukee, back and forth all over the place. And then eventually wound up in my grandparents' care. My grandfather, a Korean War vet. My grandmother, about the time that I moved in, she had a stroke, and she was a little bit off, but good people. Really, really good people. And it's as if they were raised by those who were, post-Great Depression era. So they're very much so salt of the earth, and make sure that you got a good backstock and work really hard type of people. You know?
Yeah. Work ethic really got kind of pushed into a lot of us that were raised by the older generation.
Absolutely.
But then they went and destroyed the housing market. So
I mean, there's that.
Sorry. Not if you're listening to this or watching the podcast and you are of that older generation that is responsible for the destruction of the housing market, we don't mean you specifically. It's just your generation. It's like millennials, right?
Yeah.
We are not actually, well, I don't want to get into that generational pick-me bullshit.
Yeah. I will say, though, I remember my grandparents bought their house in 1989 for $89,000.
That's for that year. That seems high.
Well,
but it must have been a big
house, 3-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-car garage, giant pool, big deck, a nice neighborhood.
Okay.
2002-ish. Wound up selling that house for almost $400,000, and they sold it under market value.
Right.
Bro, that's 13 years later.
Right.
13 years with that kind of
Yeah.
So let's not get into that, but a little salty about that type of.
Well, and then you think about what that house has got to be worth now.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, this is probably going to be at least a $600K house.
Oh.
You know.
A $400,000 house in 2022. There was the correction in 2008. We call it the correction.
Which probably dropped it a bit.
Probably back down to 2.
Yeah.
Like my parents bought our house in 94 for 114, and then I don't know what it would have been in 2008, but they probably at least had $100,000 of equity, and they probably they lost 50% of the equity in their home.
Yeah, and that's where most people just fell apart.
Yeah.
It's never come back. It's not gonna,
Well, and then
boy, did it come back.
Yeah. Then they sold the house. Well, my parents got divorced, but my dad, my family sold the house after my dad's passing in 2021 for, I think, just south of 500.
Damn.
So, and it's in back in the suburbs of Keizer.
Could you imagine having a little bit of FU money during 2008, 2009?
Oh,
just buying real estate.
I mean, full conspiracy here. I would not be shocked if somebody was like, they took an absolute liquid position because they saw it coming, and then when everything tanked, they bought everything.
Yeah.
We bought our house in Hillsboro in 2013 for $189,000.
Mm-hmm.
In 2013, at the bottom of at the recovery, right? Because 2013,
it was starting to shoot. It was starting to come back for sure.
And then
because I bought a house in 2010,
right?
Yeah.
And then I sold it in 2021, and I walked away with $130,000 of equity.
Mm-hmm. That'll happen.
Yeah. So that was good, and then I proceeded to blow through it because I knew nothing about money. Anyways, so at this point in the video, we're talking about... So you grew up in Milwaukee, raised by your grandparents, kind of the stereotypical millennial, like I don't want to say stereotypical, but...
Latchkey, kind of rough,
Right.
A rough upbringing, other side of the track sort of thing, and then moved into a more stable and I would say more loving in the sense that it was more of a wraparound love, grandma and grandpa and my mom when she was able to roll through.
Right.
And then eventually I was able to, be around my mother a lot more after a period of time. But a lot of that was, times of recovery. So.
Right. Yeah. It's one of those things that now as an adult, like, I see a lot of the things that come out of me that I'm like, ooh, that's an ugly thing about how I parent. Mm. And then I'm like, but it's better than my dad. And then I'm like, oh, my dad grew up in something worse than what he went through. And so you're like,
if you blame a lot on them, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you get raised by your grandparents, those are the same people that raised your parents.
They're different people, though.
Right.
By the time that they become grandparents, they I completely understand where you're coming from, though, because every once in a while that would sneak out.
Right.
Especially with my grandmother.
Right.
She was not one to be trifled with, and she was a little paranoid at times about things, and she, as a grandmother, was really good about hiding that. But then, after her stroke, that stuff started coming around. That almost as if she was 35 again. You know what I mean? And then she wound up developing Alzheimer's and whatnot, so that makes even more sense. My grandfather, on the other hand, very, very reserved in the regard as, like, he had an opportunity and a responsibility to raise me, and he did the best he could, and I heard stories about his past that didn't sound like him.
Right.
So I never got to experience that part of his life as far as him raising me. So I give him that that generational leap of change.
Yeah.
In my case.
Right.
And I'm sure that doesn't happen with everybody, but in my case, that's what I experienced. And I was very fortunate to be raised with them.
Your parents kind of taught your grandparents on how to raise kids, and then they're like, no. If I got to go back, this is what I would do different, which I 100% could see, because there's been times where even parenting my own kids where it's just like, I need to do better. I do think it's really great being a father. This is a little tangential, but being one of the things that I really love is that I would never feel secure enough to critique my parents. You know what I mean? Or like call them out on behavior. Where our two oldest, like he said, have you ever thought that you're maybe a little bit emotionally distant? And I was just like, well, yeah. And
that's two feelings I just got from that.
Right.
My past and my present.
Right. And I'm just like, well, what do you mean? And he showed me like examples of like behavior that shows that you're emotionally distant. And I'm just like, I was like, I heard the statements, and I was just the statements that they would make, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, it's.
And I told him, I was like, dude, I didn't even realize. Like, I'm gonna work on it, but I absolutely 100% gonna mess that up.
And that's fine, because you're gonna work on it.
Right.
But, when we grew up, also, if I was to say that to like a stepfather of mine, I'd get my shit wrecked.
Yeah. I'll show you emotionally distant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then once you're crying, it's okay, now I'll give you something to cry about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, you want to call the cops? I'll make sure that I'm going to jail for a good reason.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just these, and that's 100. So I would not have had the gumption to up and say something like that.
Right.
Back then.
I feel very good in my, at least that my children feel confident enough to come forward and be like, hey, did you ever think that maybe you're this? And then I hear them out. And then I'm like, ooh, yeah, probably, dude, probably.
They're way smarter than you think they are.
Yeah, they're so freaking... They're smart enough to get themselves into trouble, but they haven't figured out... They're too dumb to figure out how to get out of trouble.
Yeah.
Because they have all that emotional intelligence, and they're able to, they got, they haven't had the, feedback of,
right. Consequences.
Cause and effect.
Yeah, cause and effect.
Right?
Yeah.
Even they talk about our cartoons that we grew up with, like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. Our generation growing up,
those were rough.
Right. They say that those were rough, but that teaches cause and effect really well.
Yeah.
You run into a brick, or you run into a hole that you painted on the side of a wall, trying to catch the roadrunner. You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah. And
it's cause and effect, right? Where today's cartoons don't really teach cause and effect as much.
No, not really.
Or at least they don't. It doesn't seem that they put an emphasis on it.
I think that a lot of ever since SpongeBob came out,
SpongeBob was so good though. I loved SpongeBob.
And and this is quick tangent. Why is Minecraft so popular? Children
yearn for the mines.
You build up all the way to 4K, 3D, and you got all these amazing graphics, and then it's back to 32-bit. Graphics in the sense with visually.
I think
this is the best thing ever.
It's very. I think it has something to do with the reason why Lego is still very.
Oh.
It's very. It tickles. It tickles the it's.
The engineering.
Well, it touches both male and female brains, right? Because we love this house, dude. We all play Minecraft.
Mm-hmm.
We play Minecraft together. And my wife and my daughter, they'll go and hang out in the villages, and they'll play with and they'll build their houses, and they'll build really pretty they're probably some of the better builders in the family.
Oh wow!
Where my oldest, he'll do more redstone stuff, and he'll create little contraptions, and then me and the other three boys, we love the adventure part where we go out, slay and kill monsters and dig up diamonds. And
a little bit of something for everybody.
It's a little bit of something for everybody, and I think that's why Minecraft hits so hard.
I've watched it a lot more than I've played it.
Right.
It's the graphics thing that gets me.
Sure.
I've always loved growing up and watching that stuff get better, and then this comes out, and I'm like, what's this?
It's almost, though, it's like how graphic novels kind of, and we definitely need to go down that route, but how graphic novels just kind of got better and better artwork, and then at some point went back to stipple.
Mm-hmm.
And it's maybe it's just a recall to the retro.
Yeah, I think nostalgia has definitely been taken by premium as well.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Because there's so much content.
Hit that button. Milk that cow.
Well, yeah, there's so much content for us when we were growing up, because we grew up into the digital age, into internet and all these other things, and then the stuff from back then is recreated now, and we're like, hey, I will take out some of my 401k.
Yeah.
I have to have it.
Right.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. So actually, it's a good segue, parenting and growing everything up and kind of having maybe not a bad childhood, but probably a suboptimal one.
Yeah, there's moments. There's just like anything else in life, there's moments where you look back and you go oh damn, how did I survive that?
Right.
Physically and emotionally.
Right.
In different scenarios. And I think that you touched on the idea of breaking that chain. Of doing better than your father type of thing.
Yeah.
I didn't have a father figure around until my grandfather was around.
Right.
But, my childhood there was plenty of learning experiences.
Right.
I'll say it that way.
So how does that translate into, or I guess talk about Punx in the Park and how the origin of that, and then maybe tie that in with kind of your experience of not just being a child and being a teenager and being a hoodlum egging buses. I guarantee you egged a bus. You look like you've egged a bus.
I've done things to vehicles that weren't mine, and
Okay.
I'm not proud of it.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, Punx in the Park originated in a coffee shop with 4 people, and within 5 weeks turned into something that is hard to define on paper. It should not have been able to have been done due to the time constraint, the fact that everybody had full-time jobs, the fact that funding was coming through essentially at the last minute, and we initially had this idea of just having a barbecue out there, a table with the community's resources around, and just maybe a boombox, to having 5 bands, free haircuts, a big clothing closet, free food for the youth, and so much more our first year, and a massive turnout. Man, the community is awesome. The volunteers are amazing. And we got the feedback from that event is really what created Punx in the Park.
Right.
Because we did that the first year. We did that in 5 weeks. That's a long conversation. That's a very interesting conversation.
Well, we've got like 2 hours.
Right. but at the end of the event is basically what tells you whether or not this was effective,
mm-hmm.
and where to go from there.
Right.
And throughout the event we were getting feedback, but at the end of the event, having mothers come up and say, hey, this is the first time my son has felt comfortable coming to this park, because we were doing it at Marion Square.
Right.
And he's always wanted to skate, but it's always felt a little sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
We've had all kinds of feedback like that, the youth being able to have a voice, and that's our number one thing is if we make a decision based on, and we're just talking about Punx in the Park, not what has come from that, but let's say during this time, if we make a decision, it is based on the perspective of how it's going to affect the youth in a positive light. And a lot of our decision making comes from ideas that were put forth by youth, right?
Right.
And so I think that's what's helped it grow to be more and more effective. So to back up, Punx in the Park I usually describe it one way, and I heard a new version of how to describe it. And Punx in the Park is Battle of the Bands meets Resource Fair.
Okay.
And I always explained it as it's a resource fair disguised as a punk rock concert.
And that's what you said in the
It's
prep.
effectively the same thing, but I think people understand Battle of the Bands a little bit more, right? So it kind of gives you something to tether your memory to.
Right.
But all the local, we put out a thing that says, who would like to play at Punx in the Park? Who do you think would be good to play at Punx in the Park? And the youth and the community comes together, and they post underneath that post. They link bands and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way for some of these bands that may have just gotten popular within the last few months are able to get on this list of bands to play.
Yeah.
And then we sift through all of that.
Right.
And we put it on.
Do you guys do tryouts?
No, so Battle of the Bands, right?
Okay.
No, we don't.
So somebody who's like, hey, let's get these guys together and then let's just go do some Ramones covers or something.
Right.
You're like, yeah.
No, that's fine. Do it in front of the youth.
Right.
Because what that's going to do, and that goes to my next point, get in front of the youth. Go to these spaces in the community and play your heart out.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of spaces out there. I'm not going to list them all, but there's some really, really good ones. Get in front of the youth, let them hear you. If they like you, they're going to vote for you next year, because that's what it is. We put all of that on a voting website,
right?
And then we're able to see the ages of those who are voting.
Uh-huh.
Right? So they do a quick login, little mini questionnaire, and then they're off to the races looking through all these bands that they may or may not have heard of, and then they can choose who they want to play at Punx in the Park.
Oh.
And then the ones that are more heavily weighted are those who were voted on by the youth.
Right.
Because again, it's about the youth voice.
Right.
The youth, 11 to 18 is the ones that we serve.
The resource part.
Right. There's a decent amount of resources, and I don't think there's enough amount of resources for everybody.
There can always be more.
Right. But there's a respectable amount for adults, and there's a respectable amount for young adolescents. Again, never enough.
I talked to your wife about that. About the resources for adults, because we were talking about somebody that we'll talk about later, about I grew up surfing on couches, right? Same with Haley.
Oh, and I got something to say about that.
And what resources do the adults who are, taking in the couch surfing kid, what resources do they have to be like, hey, and she broke that down. Not going to spoil that little guy because that's for part 2.
She told you how they count specific types of homelessness?
She also told me about how they count specific. They don't count that as homelessness.
Oh, you just broke it though.
Well, but she went more into the resources part.
She's way more articulate on the resources part of it. I'm logistically minded, so I know how to get a truck from point A to point B and how to get something built. But as far as the the community partnerships and resources and talking and being able to connect with these youth, she is the unicorn in my opinion. I might be a little bit biased, but I've seen it in action, and I think that's the reason why this works so well. So we doing those two things. The youth get to choose the bands. Haley works with the local nonprofits and other resources that are primarily focused on helping youth in the community.
100%.
And then so we bring those together. And then we have other community partners. We have some amazing hairstylists and barbers. We have some a whole gamut of amazing individuals that will come through and for artistic expression, helping to work with our clothing closet, and
an amazing
something that just recently, unfortunately, had to become a thing, but we're very proud of it. Is Tony's Corner.
Yeah.
We're not at that point in the video where I was almost crying about it when we were getting a caramel chai, but
no, yeah. It was a dirty chai.
Yeah. I was getting I usually get a caramel. Dirty caramel chai. And you get your black coffee.
Yeah. Actually, I think we're about to pick up a couch. Oh, no. We're over by the McGillcrest area. So the last time we got out of the truck that was playing, that was over by the Cats.
Yeah, we were saying hi to Ben, his area.
This is Ben's area.
This is Ben's area right here? That's right. That's
where
right.
you got the massive brick of glass that definitely helped.
What was that?
Yeah, I think it was... So... Contractors, when contractors need to break out glass to like remove it, because sometimes you have to. What they'll do is they've got this really thick plastic, like it's got like a glue on one side, and then it's like a really thick, like 2 mil, 3 mil, 4 mil plastic.
That makes sense.
And then they just go through and they smash it out, and so the glass sticks to the film.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't make a huge mess everywhere, but it all sticks together, and it basically.
And then they wind up dumping it by the railroad tracks.
It's always hard to say. That certainly does happen, especially in our industry, right? Like if you, I'm not one to disparage any of my competitors or any of the people that would call themselves my competitor. I don't. I truly think I'm starting to move into a position where, like. I am kind of my own thing. It's like Adidas makes shoes and Nike makes shoes, right? But Nike is something about Nike that is about, it's not just a shoe. It's something different. And it's this undefinable piece. Well, I think it's definable, but I'm not sharing the secret sauce. But some of the other people that do what I do will dump in these spots.
Yeah,
it does happen, and it's gross, and it's sick, and it breaks my heart. And all we can do is educate people, and like I'm never going to be the high pressure salesman and be like, no, you have to go with me, because if you don't, there's plenty of good providers out there, but there are also some unsavory ones, and so you always have to do your due diligence.
Yep. So this right here is Ben's area, and the reason why I say Ben's area is because written on the electrical box and some rocks and some pieces of wood were notes to the resident of this spot, if you will. And
it stunk.
His name was Ben. Yeah, there was something dead in there.
Yeah, we didn't see it.
I don't think it was Ben.
Hopefully it wasn't Ben.
Hopefully not. Well, it did follow the trash.
We didn't get everything out there.
This is a lot of really loose stuff, though.
It's a lot of... See, this is the problem with the... Okay, so actually, now that we're in the kind of the nitty-gritty of the kind of the episode and watching the edit, one of the things that's hard about doing this is sort of the pacing, right? Like, I need to be able to, like... I'd like to spend, like, 15 to 20 minutes in the truck between pickups. I don't really have that. There's no written in stone sort of thing. Sometimes, like, Wendy's in my conversation, it was like 7 minutes conversation, pickup. 7 minutes conversation, pickup. 3 minutes, pickup. Oh, we're going to grab that. Dude, she was crazy. And it was all stuff like this. And it still turned out to be a really great episode. But it's like the pacing that I try to get. And... So I don't want to sit here and pick up... Like, we do this on a normal basis. Like, for our normal profession, we clean up homeless camps and stuff like this. This is what they look like. Yeah. A lot more human feces, but...
Yeah, and Ben seems to be pretty well kept in that regard.
Well, I think... Well, and after that, I was thinking about that debris pile. Mm-hmm. That was probably his bed.
Oh, okay.
Because
good point.
You make a pile of debris, and then you cover it, and then you lay on top of it so nothing pokes up out of you, but you get a nice springy mattress. Probably pretty
survival skills 101.
I wish their knot tying was a little bit better, but yeah. So finding the ability to take the mattresses and take that raft thing, and
we took his piano.
Take the piano there. Yeah, that piano on the right hand of the truck. That's the hammers of it.
Well, it looks like one of those walking machines that those engineers made that go down on the beach, you know. But I don't really remember exactly what we were talking about in this moment, other than the fact that BF Goodrich TA still had some life on it.
I rolled those down by the road.
Yeah.
And made a little statue out of them.
Yeah, I did see that as we were leaving. Yeah.
Moved the motor oil out there because hazmat and stuff. And...
Yeah, I think we were talking at this point about, an odd stench maybe. Oh, you're pulling out. Yeah. So a lot of it's just really loose stuff that we're raking onto these blankets, which was nice to have there.
Right.
But I'm just waiting to find, where did I pick up that?
It's over here on the right side. It's like towards the end. You go watch this. I'm gonna go grab us a couple LaCroix.
Okay. I'm gonna look forward to LaCroix. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see what it looks like with me waddling with this chunk of glass up, trying not to cut myself into pieces, because it was not... I don't think that it would have been it wasn't a good idea. But, back with the LaCroix. You know, I learned something in French class. I took French class because I thought I was a romantic. I'm not. Unsup.
No. This is black raspberry, not White Claws.
Right? But I learned something in French class. It was one of the few things that I took away from it, was calling somebody a sacado.
Was that...
Backpack. It just sounds so vile. Sacado. Backpack.
One of my favorites is what is it? Actually, there's actually far too many inappropriate phrases that I've learned. I'm a big fan of Spanish. I really do enjoy Spanish. I need to actually become conversationally fluent in it because I do run into it enough in this line of work where it would be nice to be able to speak to my customers in their language rather than you have to pull out Google Translate or...
Which, by the way, has become quite amazing where you can actually have your earpiece in and it'll translate it to you in real time.
It's really cool.
That accidentally happened. A buddy of mine, and he was translating by accident, must have hit the button, and it was telling him stuff back in English. And he didn't realize it was happening. He was like, what is that? And then just realized that his Google Translate was on.
Oh!
Like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Look at that. Oh, yeah.
Oh, just breathing it in. Ugh. Oh, that was the
raft.
I wonder if that raft was any good.
You know what? It's already gone, so...
Yep.
And it was that moment right there that made the unload hard when we rolled it.
Yeah. Should
have set it up in there, yeah.
That shirt's such a nice shirt. Man, where can you get one of those?
I think you can order them. You can go to Punx in the Park. Punx with Purpose.
Punxwithpurpose.org and punxinthepark.org. We picked up both of those.
Is that shirt available for purchase, or is that one of the... No.
So that was last year's Punx in the Park 2025. That was the band tee, and it went out on pre-order.
Here's your moment right here.
And it sold out like so quick.
Yeah.
So don't think I'm doing pre-orders this year. So people can get ahead and actually try and get their hands on something like this. Our new band tees are absolutely legit. Anne-Marie Cruz. So I was talking about Tony's Corner.
Yeah.
So Tony was he owned a Tony's Kingdom of Comics, and most people in Salem know him because he had his biggest heart, and he was really, really big into making sure that the community was fed, and he used his store as a... There it is. Look at that. Look at me waddle.
Look at it. That thing's
barely
heavy.
Got a hand on that thing.
Well, it's because it's sharp, dude. It's covered in broken glass.
It's like a glassy snot rocket. It's... I needed to add to the weight somehow.
You definitely did. That thing was easily 100 pounds. That right there probably...
It had some gravity in it.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyway, so Tony used his store as like a hub to bring canned foods and all kinds of stuff for helping homeless people and those in need.
Mm-hmm.
And his daughter, who is my amazing tattoo artist, Anne-Marie, designed this year's band T-shirt. And so you would see the phoenix on the flyer.
I was just about to say, I saw the phoenix on the flyer earlier.
My kids are like, "Oh, that's a cool dragon." I'm like, "It's a phoenix."
You guys finally started following me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Questionable choice, but...
No, so you and I created a visual representation of something that never happened, and then hung out later. So I had no choice but to follow you on literally everything.
Yeah.
Your wife came through and followed. I was like, oh yeah, I've got to, because I'm rarely ever on social media at all. So then I was just like, okay, she's my friend now. Okay, she's married to him. Okay, cool. And then he's got this over here, and then connect. And I followed you on everything.
Yeah.
And I've been meaning to do that, but again.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
And in fact, I started listening to a couple episodes of your podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still really rough.
No, I prefer it.
Jay says he really likes how Jay Greenfield is one of these kind of the back one of the hands of Punx in the park.
Yeah.
Like,
So
I don't know his hands in Punx with Purpose.
Well, Jay's been around since our second year.
Okay.
He found a huge amount of purpose in what it is that we're doing. He fell in love with it, and he's got a long backstory. You gotta have him.
I've asked him. I asked him. He said, "I think it would be awesome, but it would be cool to have Haley as well."
Oh wow.
And Haley's story is, heart-wrenching. Of course.
It is. Jay's got a good. Jay's a really good guy, and he is one hell of a hard worker. And his amount of passion that he puts into what it is that we're doing, he's really made it. He's really made it his own too.
Yeah.
Like he works for Punx in the Park and Punx with Purpose as if it was his idea.
Yeah.
And like really puts his everything into it. He's amazing with the community. He's really easy to talk to. He's a fun guy. I love him to death, and he's done a lot of really good things. Is he going to hear this? Because
if he listens,
just cut this out. I don't want him.
Just remember your place, Jay.
Yeah, Jay, under my thumb. No, he's
he was actually the one who found me. He reached out to Chamber, and I feel bad because I'm not a member of Chamber, but
oh well.
I mean, they recommended me and another one of the trash companies, or I don't like calling us trash companies because there's legal things and we're not really trash. It's like bulk janitorial.
There you go.
Like that's what I think it is, but
unwanted items company.
Yeah. The
well,
box
you do
of
pick up
lost...
some nice things.
Yeah.
And but yeah, no, Jay's an integral part of what we got going on, and he's done really good at linking us up with all kinds of
resources.
And really like special individuals.
Yeah.
Like yourself.
Like me.
Like you.
I'm special. I am special. In many ways.
Well, I think we've learned a little bit about each other, and we're both pretty special.
I was actually we're on our way to the next. This is a great segue because you reopened it. You reopened the wound, and I'll be able to. I'm working this up too much because the reason I wanted to get the audio is because there's a moment coming up that I thought was very genuine. I wasn't able to. I was afraid we weren't going to be able to recapture it. But Jay is a perfect example of the level of leadership that you and Haley have that I see that there's something in your guys' message, and I've said this to you in this part, but there's something in that, your mission that's just, it's very much you, and everybody who hears it is like, yes, immediately on board. When Jay called me, I was like, he was like, hey, I'm Jay Greenfield, I'm with Punx at the Park. I'm like, yes.
Just that.
Yes, that's all I needed to hear. And it's like something in you guys, like it's that go mentality of just screw it, we're gonna just go. And then it's like everybody who surrounds you gets the mission, gets the idea, and and it's like, what is that? What is that about you guys? Define it.
I think that really comes from
the je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes from just do it and ask for forgiveness later.
Right.
Because it's not going to happen if you take the prescribed routes. Right.
Okay.
One of the things that and I'm gonna layer this a little bit. Haley will tell you about how she cut her teeth in the youth advocacy world in multiple different places and whatnot, and the things that she went up against within those places.
Right.
And you realize when you're working with something like that, what does and doesn't work, what can be gone around, what should be fixed.
Right.
And then you got a guy like me where it's just like, give me a target and I'll execute. Let's just go get it done. And then when we are going down the road and we find that there's a better way, you stop, you iterate, and then you
pivot.
You go do it again. You pivot and you do it again. Haley's all about breaking barriers. I'm all about getting stuff moved around and built. Jay is all about making those good connections. And when you put that together, along with, you can put all that together and get nothing. Right? Okay. There's movers and shakers in every single business. It's part of the business model, is having these movers and shakers. And a lot of businesses just crumble even though they have great people. You got to have a purpose. In my opinion, in order to get up in the morning and work as hard as these people do, it has to be something, not that you're just passionate about, but something that literally gives your life meaning And that's what drives a lot of it. Because there's been times when people are like, how do you do it? I don't know. It's there.
Right.
You get some sort of boost of energy or just because a lot of people will just, it's a lot of work, dude.
Yeah.
It's hard work, and people will give up on it because it's not normal.
Right.
What we do sometimes. It's not that way all the time. But you gotta have that purpose.
So the Simon Sinek, love that guy. He has a book called Start With Why. But basically the premise of the book and a little bit more of a person
mm-hmm.
with a why can endure any how.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
That perfect.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And I've always remembered that even going through some of the hardest times of my life, hardest parts of my company, and it's if you have a why, if you have a mission, the how is just, okay, let's figure it out. It has to happen.
Right.
We just have to figure out the best way through this.
The timeline is there. The result is going to happen.
Are we just going to run headfirst into 6 walls, or is there a more advantageous way through this?
Well, that's what we did in our first year. We ran headfirst through 6 walls, but then you get smart and you start figuring those things
and you
out.
only run into 3.
Yeah, you only run into 3. This year we've ran into a couple, but it's getting a little bit better.
Right.
And but 100%, like fighting for your country, fighting for your family, fighting for love,
your community,
fighting for yourself.
Right.
Like if there's a strong enough belief behind any of those things, the amount that you can do and endure is monumental. And
right.
That's where you get stories of the greats. You know what
right.
I mean? You keep hearing about these same places, people, organizations throughout the years, and it gets passed on. And I think that for me, it's not about necessarily building a legacy, but I think that that's going to, hopefully, that's going to be a cool byproduct of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
In effect, it will prolong and create future leaders to step in and continue what we're doing, right? And I think a lot of that. Haley's got a lot of mentors that she's learned from, so she's effectively carrying on legacies and traditions
mm-hmm.
from good leaders
yep.
in the youth advocacy world.
Tony.
Tony, 100%. And I don't know if she's going to be talking about
she did talk
leadership.
She talked about Tony quite a bit.
Yeah.
You both talked about Tony, and then we actually shared.
She slept on his couch.
Well, I shared the fact, and I told you this, is he sent us 2 boxes of comic books.
Yeah.
While we were deployed, while we were on the Lincoln, we were in our, I think, 09?
Mm-hmm.
Our 09 Westpac. So he sent us a bunch of comics. It was great. It was
so freaking
awesome.
cool, dude.
Yeah. I never got to say thank you or anything, or never got to,
well, I'm
exchange
sure
that, but
knowing him, I'm sure he would rather you just keep paying it forward.
right.
That's what it was all about.
Right.
know? So, yeah, it was. That was. Keeping a part of his legacy going is by far the least that we can do. That was an amazing man.
Yeah.
So
Salem lost. I talk about Salem because I truly love this city. There was something that happened when I left in 2008 for the military, and I didn't get back until really 2021. But I would come back every once in a while and stop and see where I came from, and something changed, and it was hard. But Salem is this. I always say it's the largest small town you'll ever visit. It's crazy how everybody either knows everybody or knows somebody who knows you're such and such as friend, or you're right? And it seems like the city is just filled with people like Tony.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and that's amazing because if you put out something,
right,
that is a great idea.
Right.
And it's going to help people.
Right.
It's like the city of Salem just like vibrates, and you can just see it. People just start coming from all angles, be like, I want to help with this. I can do this. I can do that.
Right.
And I don't think organizations like ours would be as nearly as successful as it is without having that type of vibe.
Right.
I'm not putting down Portland at all, but I don't.
I'll put down Portland.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
But I don't know if it would have worked as well in Portland. I don't know if it would have worked as well in Medford. It could have, but it's just because I don't know them like we know Salem.
Right.
But just, and I hope for their sake, for those areas, because how cool would it be to expand to those areas in some way, even if not directly involved, as somehow like.
This is where you're starting to get a little choked up because I'm glazing you.
Stop it. You stop it. What are you looking at?
I was looking at your dick.
Anyways,
I think.
and I hope that there's a lot of other cities like Salem in the sense of the community engagement.
Yeah.
I hope that there's just, with the little drama corners and the pockets and the cliques and stuff like that all seem to keep surfing through each other.
Right.
It's like you have these people that are not okay with each other, and then they're okay with each other, and then they're going to grow old, and everything's going to be just fine. And
I've heard the Salem dating scene is wild.
I'm so glad I was never a part of that.
Nope. Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I came from Milwaukee.
The girl I married is the girl I dated here in Salem, and that is just what it is.
Yeah.
But I never, I didn't have to. Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But not knowing, like I've seen the dating scene, from a distance, but.
Oh, I've had friends. I've had friends who are like, oh, and I'm like, that sounds insane to me.
Well, it's funny because you ever get into those big fights with your wife or your partner or something like that. It's like I get big fight with Haley. Just not. Sometimes it would just be easier if we weren't. And then you think about it, you're just like, no.
I immediately take that back.
Yeah, right here.
Right. Yeah. No. Sorry, I said that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said that.
Exactly.
That's on me.
But I mean, when everybody gets mad, I think Salem's a good deterrent to separation.
Listen, what are my options? No.
I'm sure there's great options out there.
I'll figure it out. I'll figure out this thing with my wife.
Exactly.
We'll get over this hurdle. Because going out there just sounds not good.
Nope. No, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
But where were we here?
We're still waiting to pick up that couch that was on 21st in Lee. Yeah, we're just chatting. I glazed you, and then I wanted you to kind of go into talking about how what is the energy that your team brings.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on that, right? But
we
touched on 3 individuals: myself, Haley, and Jay.
Right.
We have. So Punx in the Park has recurring volunteers that come around that are absolutely 110% about giving a year's worth of energy for one day, because that is the volunteering for Punx in the Park is hardcore.
Oh boy.
And
I'm gonna be one of them this year.
Yeah, you are. More hands the better, obviously. So we're always trying to get more volunteers for that day in particular.
Yeah.
But also Punx with Purpose, it's so weird. And it's weird to call them employees. There are people that are employed at Punx with Purpose.
Right. That have a paycheck.
But they're still volunteering a large portion of who they are.
Right.
Beyond the paycheck.
Right.
And they're very special individuals.
What do we think of that tarp real quick?
Dude, that tarp is legit.
Shout out to American Trucking Company for getting us that tarp.
The tarp is legit.
Out of New Jersey.
New Jersey. The Jersey boys.
They talk really fast. Have you ever talked with somebody from New Jersey? They talk so fast.
Really?
It's crazy how quick they talk.
I'm sure I probably have. When you see look at the beefcake, you just throw the whole thing up in there. Dang. Probably was pretty light though.
I mean,
not the next part.
Not
that
the next one. That
it.
one was, that was like a train in there. I was like dragging it.
That had all the gravity in it.
I'm thinking.
And then I wound up getting caught on that, and we had a problem bringing it around. Yep. Yep. Oh, don't tell me it was the pool. I thought it was the corner part that was giving us the hell. It was that stupid pool. Man, it was the pool. Holy crap. Whatever. And this is where your camera got covered up.
Yep. You can still see a little bit.
Yeah.
A little jump cut there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was another thing that you're like, wait, is that you or is that me? No, that's me.
We smell much nicer now.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there was a question that you asked as we were leaving here. That was the spicy question.
Punk culture.
Punk culture.
You're not very punk.
No,
it's not very punk. Getting into a truck with a guy who's got an American flag on his shirt. It's not very punk.
Oh sure, yeah. You asked me a question about punk culture here.
Yeah.
Do you remember exactly?
I do not remember the exact question or the exact wording.
So one of the things that we touched on was, the haters.
Okay.
We also touched on punk culture as we perceive it, and how others perceive it, and just how much of a wobble cake that is of so many different ideas.
You know what's funny? I've never heard the phrase wobble cake, and yet I hear it and I go, I know exactly what that is.
Yeah, no, it's the first time I've ever used it, but it made sense to me in the moment. But
it needs to be a shirt.
Well, I think there's another show that I like to watch, and he talks about wobble pops, and you know exactly what that is.
I don't, but
Beers.
Wobble
pops.
Gotcha. They make you wobble. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah. That was an interesting conversation because I think that we both came to some revelations.
Mosh pits. The mosh pit thing.
That
I was like,
one.
So mosh pits. So for, I guess in paraphrasing or whatnot, is we're talking about the civility of a mosh pit, and it being anytime you go down, it basically everybody makes a giant hole.
The violent civility.
Yeah, the violent civility.
Ooh, put that on a shirt.
Put that on a shirt.
That should be a
wobble,
band name.
Wobble cake.
Wobble cake violence.
Yeah. You're like, hold on, let me grab out my notepad. But it's this. It's a civil practice of sadomasochism because you don't jump into a mosh pit to hurt people. Mm-hmm. You jump into a mosh pit to get hurt.
That was the revelation.
In order to get hurt, somebody has to throw a fist, and so we just agree. I'm throwing fists around because I'm helping you hurt yourself.
Right.
It's like the same as getting a tattoo, or except you don't have to pay to be in a. Well, you kind of have to pay to be in a mosh pit.
Well, it depends. You might be visiting your dentist or ophthalmologist afterwards, but
I missed my tooth.
Yeah, put my eyeball back in socket,
please.
But the tattoos are spendy, but
concert tickets
and much longer of a duration of pain for sure.
Sure.
But that's my preferred. I think that if I was to jump into a mosh pit at my mildly advanced age, given the
you look, by the way, you look great for a guy who's 72.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I don't look a day over 50. But I would just get absolutely wrecked, and not in the pit. I'd do fine. It would be the following 3. It would be the following 3 days.
Yeah.
Just recovering from it. And but man, our first year, it was very much so like, okay, we're doing it for the youth. We don't want them to get hurt. We're protectors. We're the adults. Right. We had security there, and everything was, and then you'd just be like, oh yeah, they're kind of getting along, and security's like, hey, don't do that, And then after a while, it's just like, you know what, man, it just doesn't taste right.
Right.
Let them go. Full send.
Doesn't feel very punk.
No, didn't feel very punk.
What is this? It doesn't have a mosh pit? That's not very punk.
Yeah. So we were like, hey, just let them do their thing. And that was just like huge.
Right.
And it's not like they don't go and mosh every night in Salem at the,
right. Dude,
at the shows and stuff. We just had this idea of like making sure everybody's fine.
Yeah.
Because that's what we want to make sure everybody's fine. Mm-hmm. But on the same token, like if they want to be in that pit and they want to dust up, send it, dude.
Yeah. Just keep it in the pit.
Yeah.
And if somebody goes down, the pit stops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 100%. You know, and so our first year we had one or two individuals. They're like, oh, you know, what you're doing isn't very punk, you know, whatever. And it was because we had
it's just such an asshole thing to say,
dude. That one was I remember it because it was in relation to the fact that we had a spot where youth could go sit down and get their hair colored up and spiked up by Jana Lee,
who we love.
We absolutely
Jana Lee did my wife's hair for our wedding.
Nice, dude. She's
amazing.
She just did Haley's hair yesterday.
Jana Lee, if you want to come and get on the truck before Sam, I'm all for it,
bro. She would be a really good...
She would be fun.
Yeah, she's got stories.
You know me, I love a good story.
Yep.
Tell me a yawn. Spin me a web.
Exactly.
Anyway.
She... us nerds, dude. Don't get me going down that road.
Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah, I love
Nerd. Me too. It's okay.
Safety. But... You know, and then every once in a while afterwards, it was like, oh, this isn't punk, that isn't punk. And you know who we're hearing that from? The adults.
Boomers. No, I'm kidding.
You know what? It's like, let me be clear what we're about. We're not about our name.
Right.
Punx in the Park. Yeah, it's a name that can evoke some feelings, especially when it comes to something that you hold so dear to your heart due to its importance in your life and may have even saved your life.
Right.
And we completely understand that 100%.
Right.
But our number one concern is the youth.
Right.
We don't just serve youth at risk. We'll serve affluent youth and everybody in between.
Right.
And the reason why is because everybody's going through some shit. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter if you're living on the streets. You know, that's the reason why we're doing it. Mm-hmm. So it's not to be punk in the sense that suits your perspective of what punk is. It's to be punk in the sense of what punk feels like to us, and that is unabashed community support.
I think I touched on it. Well, there's that part, but I remember we missed this part. Actually, it was just a little bit after this part, but it was talking about how the punk scene, the punk culture is this weird amalgamation of a bunch of different cliques and friend groups and things. Like, if you look at me, I'm a bald-headed, blue-eyed, white dude. You almost guarantee you think you know which kind of punk group that I'm in. Right. And there are those punk groups. I'm not a part of that punk group, but I wouldn't fault somebody for thinking that I was. Mm-hmm. But when I went and watched Flogging Molly, I watched Radkey. The band Radkey. Not Ronnie Radkey.
We went through this already.
Yeah, we went through this, but there was a band called Radkey, which they are amazing. I love them. They're a bunch of very talented black musicians, and I was just like, black people do punk too, because at that time I was very new to punk, and my girlfriend at the time brought me into the fold, and I was like, what? This is a thing. And then we saw country people playing punk, and we saw all different types of people in the punk scene. And the thing that I think we touched on when we were coming down, I think a little bit before this, was that punk is the music of the underdog.
Yeah.
Like, that is what punk is. And I think that's why it's so popular even in America, because historically we've always been the underdog. With regards to like the last 80, 100 years, we've always been the underdog.
Not right now, but definitely in the past for sure.
And I think that's why it's in our roots is as people in this country of, we're the scrappy underdog who you say no and we're.
I think everybody's in love with the potential of the underdog story.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think punk music is the music. It's the theme song to that montage.
Yeah. And this has been told many times. The four people that originally, started this idea.
Am I getting a punk history lesson here?
Just real quick for Punks in the Park.
Okay.
You had a punk rocker.
Yeah.
You had a punk turned executive.
Mm-hmm.
You have an emo girl.
Yeah.
And you had your country blue collar guy.
Right.
And that's what started Punks in the Park.
Right.
Right?
Are you the blue collar guy?
Yeah.
And Jay's the...
No, Sean was the...
executive?
The punk executive.
Gotcha.
Rebecca was the punk rocker girl. I don't know exactly how she would like to be presented, but that was my perspective of her. Haley is definitely
the emo
mild goth, emo.
No,
girl.
yeah.
But she grew up around punks and loved the culture because that was out of all the other cultures that she had been around, that was the one that embraced her and didn't give a shit.
Right.
About
she was the underdog.
Wore. They did not give a shit about what she wore, what kind of music she listened to, because that didn't define punk to them.
Right.
What defined punk to them was like, hey, dude, that guy's bleeding on the fucking... Go pick him up.
Right.
Give him a beer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that type of...
Yeah.
Like, it was a mentality. It wasn't a style.
Right.
If that makes sense. And that's what we're trying to stick with is the mentality, and we're not trying to be posers and be something that we're not. We're just loud, obnoxious, pink, black, and purple. You know what I mean? Community-based for the youth. And if anybody has a problem with it, just come see what we're doing. Yeah. Because by the end of it, either you'll be like, okay, I get it, or you'll hate us even more. And either way, I don't care.
Right. Yeah. That's my thing is you may never ever pick me, but you'll always know that I exist.
Yeah, we exist, and we're going to keep doing this. Right. You know what I mean?
I think you kind of have to. I told this to Haley, and I think I've said this to you. I was like, I think you guys opened up a can of worms where you can't shut this down.
That's kind of how PWP got started. Right. Because Punks in the Park is one day a year. Right. Well, it's a one day for those who come there.
Right. It's 6 months of hell for everybody who run it.
Yeah, it's a lot. Even though it doesn't look like some massive production, we all have full-time jobs. Right. And we're trying to put these things together and make it as badass as we can for the youth. Yeah. And it takes, the better part of, 6 or 7 months to do, just because we're doing most of that in what time we have left of our day. Right. And it's not like we have 100 people working on it at the same time. There's been, effectively 3 or 4 people that have been working on it every single day. Right. For a few hours a day for the past few months, and then that has branched out to other people working in little parts of it. But at the end of that, the youth are going like, hey, yeah, this is really freaking cool, but we need it every day. Right. You're not going to get the big production every day. And so Haley always had this idea. I'm sure she'll tell you about it. But that's how Punks with Purpose came around. Right. And we were thinking, oh, yeah, well, maybe 5 years down the road. Yeah. Oh, maybe we could do it in 4. Year 2. Punks with Purpose is going to happen, and it needs to happen now. And it was just like this onslaught of support, and, the community really put their effort into this.
The owner of the franchise owner of the local Hot Topic, she was telling me about that. He came out and... He's in a massive support of Punks with Purpose, which, by the way, just so freaking cool. That
is cool.
Because Hot Topic is a large
But that's
company.
not punk.
Right.
That was one of the things I ever told. Hot Topic's not punk. I'm just like, dude, the guy that's running this show, this Hot Topic show, punk as fuck.
Right.
Like, just because the name brand you don't vibe with, like, I completely get it. 100% get it. But the reason why we have cool band tees and stuff like that is because the guy that's running that ship believes in what we're doing, and it touches his heart.
Right.
Because he's been...
Well, and also the kids that go to these concerts go to Hot Topic. I went to Hot Topic as a kid.
Yeah.
I used to wear the ball-bearing bracelets.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, the chain on the wallet?
Yeah, I had a sweatband and like I was oh my god. I might have to pull up pictures.
Okay, I had puka shells.
So you'd find those at Zoomies.
Right. Yeah,
so
Zoomies,
which was upstairs.
There was another one, but
I say upstairs. If you grew up in Salem, if you know, you know.
Well, see, Clackamas Town Center was my mall because that was the one that was closest to me.
We had two malls.
That was an enormous mall.
We had Lancaster Mall, and then we had
and
then we had Salem Center. But now it's Willamette Town Center, and you can't go inside of it anymore.
I heard somebody say Willamette today, and it just absolutely just twisted my mind. That's a weird side, but anyways.
Welcome to ADHD.
Yeah, Willamette. Clackamas Town Center was really cool until the shooting, and then a lot of people stopped going there.
Yeah,
but
I think malls are kind of going away. But
yeah, they are. That was kind of a COVID thing, though.
I mean, I think it was more...
Or Amazon.
Yeah. Amazon, probably. It's
allegedly.
Well, I mean, it's not like it's Amazon's fault.
Right.
It's
you
just...
still got to say allegedly.
It's Amazon... Actually, not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Amazon, but respect where respect is due, right? You can love Jeff Bezos, you can hate Jeff Bezos, but at the end of the day, you got to give respect to the man who basically created click a button and it arrives at your door in under 48 hours.
Or even less now. Same day delivery, drone shipment, all kinds of crazy stuff.
There's no denying that happened. And I think malls, I think Walmart, I think a lot of these places, Walmart is still holding on. But I actually think that they're the. I thought they
were going to rule the world.
Walmart?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's kind of sad because it's like the two titans of industry with regard to retail shopping. Is Walmart our savior against Amazon, or is Amazon our savior against Walmart?
Right. I mean, can you imagine how many protests you've seen about Walmart?
Right.
You don't see many about Amazon. But
except
that's
for
because
the
they don't build it in your neighborhood.
Well, there's that. There's also you remember the drivers were peeing in bottles.
Yeah.
That whole thing.
That's rough, dude. Well, they're a third priority now.
Right. Yeah. They're like, we're not going to make you pee in the bottle. We're going to make it so your contractor makes you pee in a bottle.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another tangent. I think that's number 4 now.
Yeah, we do that.
That's fine.
You drive truck, I drive truck.
Yeah.
Like for our real jobs.
Yes.
This is just something we do on the side. You do Punx with Purpose. I do Just a Guy in a Truck.
Yep. The idea, though, and it's funny. I took this week off in order to really focus in on all of the last minute things that I needed to do for Punch in the Park this year.
Because we're days out, or a month
one
out.
Month. Yeah. 1 month. Probably not by the time that this
comes out. When this comes out, it'll be August 9th, I believe.
Yeah, so about 3 weeks from now. And I completely forgot what I was going to say. So by the time this comes out, it'll be about 3 weeks from Punch the Park. I took the week off in order to go through the minutia and fine tune everything.
Yeah.
Just because it is so much that I don't want it to fall apart day of just because of a couple of bad choices. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
like your conference table not getting moved and your wife texting me at 5 o'clock last night going,
do that?
Hey, help him! Listen.
You were there for me.
I called you. I listened. I made sure you didn't need me. But listen, the lady snaps her fingers and I listen.
She's got a way about herself.
She does.
But
you've got yourself a good one there.
Yeah. No, I know what I got. I've never been a jealous man, but there's been moments because I know what I got.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm like,
shit. Well, you shouldn't be a jealous man if you know what you got, because that's...
Well, in the sense that, like, oh, wow, I fucked up. She could do better at this point, you know. Every once in a while you feel like a lesser of a man, and you're like, damn, my wife deserves better in this moment. You always beat yourself up or whatever. And then it's just like, well, yeah, maybe she does deserve better, but nobody else can have her. She's mine.
She's mine. I'll kill you. Yeah. I'll punch you in the face or something.
Punch you in the face and run back to her.
Look at that mattress. We're stuffing the back of that with cotton that really didn't...
That was me trying... I don't know what I was trying
I mean, it was the correct thing to do, because it was either that or leave it spread out all over the road.
It was pretty gross.
Yeah. So we got it cleaned up. I'm not...
It was definitely not for the weight.
No.
In fact, I found, at this point you can't see it, but I found what was it, like a baby cradle?
Yeah, like a car seat. The bonnet for a car seat. Yeah.
And started stuffing that with the stuffing and threw it.
There was like a bedding bag, for, like a zip-up bag for bedding, and we were just we were starting to get a diminishing return type of deal going on, and I was like, I think we should call it.
Right.
This is on Hawthorne Road. Hawthorne is pretty rough. Everybody talks about it. I think we talked about this in...
it's like a dark little corridor, isn't it?
It's a little dark. There's a heavy shoulder. There's a decent homeless population. And so, like, you put a couch out on the side of Hawthorne, and the people experiencing homelessness will just tear it to pieces. They'll lay on it. They'll sleep on it. I mean, it's an issue. It's one, everybody's trying to solve with as much humanity as possible.
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of conversations about that, and I think that everybody has a different idea. Right. I think you need to go back to just go. Just do it.
Right.
See what works. If it doesn't, iterate.
Right.
Well,
and also be forgiving if the idea falls.
Yeah.
That's another thing that maybe you guys don't experience that with your guys' projects, but do you ever get I'm sure you get the occasional I told you so, but like if something just kind of blows up in your face, does it ever actually cause any kind of risk to you losing the program altogether? Because I know, like, politicians, they worry about that sort of stuff. One of my favorite customers, she is I have to keep her nameless, basically because she needs her anonymity. But I know that that's something that they worry about, is that if they make the wrong policy, then they can't actually sit in their seat and continue to make what they think is positive change.
Right? Yeah.
So it's like, is that something that you guys go through with regards to a mess up? You just go. If you mess up.
There is... So, let me say it this way. We work with youth.
Right.
That is nothing like working with adults.
Right.
And not in the sense of mentality, because a lot of these youth are way more mature and have had to grow up more than a lot of adults that I know.
Right.
It has everything to do with the fact that they are a very protected class of citizens due to their age.
Right.
As it is.
Right.
And there's a certain responsibility that we hold to make sure that is upheld to the nth degree.
Right.
That's the reason why we run background checks on everybody that works with us. And if they are into anything with kids, whether it's, any of the things that are to do with kids,
right.
they don't get to work with us.
Right.
There's been decisions that were made in the formation of Punx with Purpose and Punx in the Park that we've had to make that sounded like something that would have been really cool, but then when you put it up against the backdrop of this is youth focused, it didn't work and we had to let it go. So we break barriers, we run through walls and stuff like that, but there has to be a certain amount of calculation that goes with that to make sure that we don't hurt who we're trying to help.
Right.
And I think that we're pretty good at it. And that's the reason why we don't end up like, having to answer hard questions that we should have known better.
Right.
Right.
So you can, as long as you've got a line that you're not allowed to color over, but you can just try things in that, and it. Yeah. Occasionally you'll get an "I told you so," but it'll never jeopardize. Yeah. PWP or Punx in the Park.
I told you so's, I guess, really come from the. I guess you would call the bleeding heart portion of it. It's just like, hey, that A, B, or C it's going to turn out this way. Yeah, but I got to give it a shot. You know what I mean? I got to give this one a chance. Right. And then it's like, sometimes it works out and it's great and it's for the better, and that's the point. Right. Like, it doesn't matter if the other one was just like, yeah, well, I told you so. It's like, still helped a different one. Right. We still created this program over here because this program felt a little rocky. Right. Or this youth now has housing and a job and is seeking mental therapy, and yeah, the other one didn't make it, but we had to try it, and the reason why is because get outcomes like that. Right. You can't be afraid. Right. But you should very much so be afraid to do something detrimental to the youth. Right.
Well, and yeah, we talked about that. They're a very openly, very trusting community until you give them even just the inkling reason to not trust you.
Yep. 100%.
And that trust will go away faster than anything.
Yep. And I will tell you another thing. If you do something to hurt the youth and we find out, it's going on blast.
We know a guy with a big black truck and a shovel.
But no, it's happened before. We hear about something that happened. Right. Because anything that's done in the darkness will come to light. Right. Haley would find out about it, and next thing you know, it doesn't go through the filtered media. It's not like, well, this or this isn't appropriate. This might hurt somebody's feelings. This might get somebody in trouble. It's like, this is bullshit. This shouldn't have happened. Why did it happen? You need to answer these questions. How can we help? How can we fix it? Right.
That's a good thing. I don't know how you are with it, but I know Haley, when I've spoke with her, it's very much, and I'm not meaning, Haley, I know you're probably listening to this, so I'm not meaning to just make this all about you, but I know that she's very good at identifying the problem without pointing fingers. Sometimes she can get pretty pointed. Yeah. But she also comes in with not just blame. She's here's the problem, here's the reason, or here's the person responsible for creating the problem. What can we do to fix this issue? Yeah. It's solution based, not accusation based.
Yeah. And she doesn't have time for people who aren't willing to listen.
Right. No, she does not.
So there's a couple of taglines that I wanted to bring up. Okay. One of the originals was Punx with purpose, providing perspective. Lots of P's in there. Punx with purpose,
alliterations are absolutely annoying. That's my favorite little alliteration that I make. Anyways.
But and the reason behind that is we're providing perspective to the community and whatnot. Right. So we're letting them know that it's not just punk youth, punk culture. It's not even about that. It's just about what they think about those that are on the streets, those who are having a hard time mentally, physically, financially. There is a perspective to be lent behind that, right. And we find it incumbent on us to make sure that those in all walks of life understand what this means. Right. And then the other one that I absolutely love was be the adult you needed as a child.
That one I've always...
Or be the adult you needed as a youth. Right. Because seems like every single person that works with us or has worked with us has had a spotty past. And it makes me wonder, like, how many are we not able to reach? Because if, like, we're talking about most of the population of individuals we talk to have had some serious traumatic shit happen to them in their past that has affected them.
Mm-hmm.
And there were times where that stuff happened and they didn't have anybody to go to. So be the adult you needed as a youth. And they come around, they're like, hey, this is my purpose. Right. I was talking to a guy about graphics the other day.
Okay.
I wanted to get some stencils made. And we were talking business. And it was just like, then we started talking about what it's for. He goes, what is Punx in the Park? I was like, oh, little 20-second spiel as to what we're doing.
Elevator speech.
And we had, it's a very easy speech to give.
Yeah.
I love telling people about
it's very easy. This is what I was saying. It's very easy to get on board, but it's distracting. It's distracting. You were talking to this graphic guy.
And next thing you know, this guy is pouring his heart out to me. Telling me about, like, this is a successful businessman. And he's telling me, like, what he's doing to change it for his kids. Right. And what he his future plans and stuff like that. Because
you find this story in every entrepreneur. By the way, like that, the level of I think Haley and I actually talked about this, is when you are a disaffected youth, you have essentially 3 outcomes. Realistically, small minority wind up dying. That sucks.
Yeah.
That's hard.
Yep.
A majority of them wind up living cruel lives of mundanity.
Yeah.
Where they live, the more successful ones live severe lower class, impoverished, with victim mentality, like, all the time. And then you have
definitely a cycle.
And then you have the other ones who get that authority complex in them, and they go, the system, I'm gonna be the system, and they become these entrepreneurs, these hyper successive, hyper obsessive entrepreneurs. And so every time you crack that story of an entrepreneur, they all have the, oh yeah, I surfed couches.
Yeah. No, 100%.
I grew up in some shit. Like,
you don't
not
hear
every
much,
single one of them, but
you don't hear much executive level excellence come from stories of nepotism.
Right.
And I think that also a big driving factor in all directions of a place that somebody could go is autonomy. So a lot of youth were robbed of their autonomy. Like, no, you can't do this. No, you can't do that. The thumb is down on them. They're oppressed.
Right.
And they have become this victim to, an authoritative individual or organization that may have power over them. Right. Whether it was their oppressive schooling or their parents or, the system in some manner.
Right.
And that's the fork in the road. I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. We don't want them to have this outcome or this choice. But effectively, that's what it creates, is for somebody to decide, well, either I'm going to be hurt by this for the rest of my life, and try and find a place in a community where I can fit in, or fuck this, fuck the system, fuck these people that are putting me down. I am going to become the most powerful. I'm gonna take as much as my autonomy back as I possibly can.
Right.
And that's literally what you just said. I just had to say it in my own words.
Okay. Yeah.
And to make it all make sense, because I think that is incredibly powerful.
Right.
It's punk as fuck.
Right. I would say becoming a self-made man or a self-made person is punk as fuck, because you're saying no. The world deserves better.
Yeah. And that's what we're trying to pound into these youth that come down into Punx with Purpose, and they're playing some pool and yucking it up with the friends, or playing some D&D, or sitting in the corner all by themselves with their hoodie all the way up. It's like that's the message, is like, you have the power and you can start finding it here.
Right.
You know what I mean? We'll point you in the right directions, but at the end of once you leave this door, like, it's your autonomy that matters.
Right.
Like, take it and run, dude. Like, let's go.
Right. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to get scraped knees.
Yeah, the best lessons are learned from mistakes. I tell my kids, 4 of them, so two stepsons and my son and daughter. I want you to fail. That's the first time they heard it was like, oh, Dad, But no, it's like, I want you to fail because I want you to learn to appreciate winning. If you go around winning all the time, it's not special. Mm-mm. No, you're just some, unicorn, and that's not nearly as fun as you might think it is.
Right.
But for you to, stub your toe along the way, or break an arm, or get sat out because you made a bad choice, or, what have you, get fired. Yeah. These are good things for you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I always tell my boys,
just don't die.
I tell my boys that, hey, I highly recommend getting punched in the face at least once in life.
You should know how to be able to take a punch.
Yeah. Well, it tells you everything you need to know about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a school of hard knocks way of learning, and it sucks, but I've gotten punched a few fair amount of times, and I tell you what, it's so stupid and cheesy, but it's out of Rocky. Life isn't about how hard you can hit. It's how hard you can get hit and keep getting back up.
That's right.
That's what it is. I used to be the very much like my father. At 18, you're moving out.
Yeah.
In fact, joining the Navy was, well, you got two options. You can get out of my house, or you can join the Navy, which at the time I didn't realize was, you can get out of my house, or you can get out of my house with a job.
Yeah. Effectively, yeah.
But yeah. I've sort of softened that position to become a 25 is the all right, we're pulling the cord, you gotta jump out of the plane. But I told them, I'm like, you need to be chasing something. Right. That does not mean you need to have a job. That does not mean you need to be making an income. Mm-hmm. That does not mean you need to be going to school. That does not mean you need to be being an entrepreneur. But you need to pursue something. Not your passion. Don't chase your passion. Your passion will lead you right off a cliff.
It can. Because you follow that blindly.
Right. But do take your passion with you, because it will find the thing that you're good at and then go all in. Yeah. And it will serve you far more than anything else, any sad 9-to-5 where you're stuck in traffic, 2 hours, a 1 hour commute on each way. So 2 hours.
And coming from there's a couple things. Coming from the more like, blue collar, I'm going to tell you, if there's any youth listening to this right now, or anybody under the age of 45, go learn to weld or be an electrician or a plumber. Don't go to school for it. Go into a trade, because your future will be bright. Get your CDL. You'll have a job in 5 minutes.
Take care of your driver's record.
Take care of your driver's record.
It sounds so dumb, but stop speeding.
Yep. Drink lots of water.
Have your insurance card in your car, please. As somebody who needs to hire people with good driver's licenses. Yeah. Like, it is hard to find good help. Mm-hmm. That also has a good driving record. Yeah. I've got great helpers, and I've got great drivers. Yeah. It's very hard to get the two. Right.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. But, and so you were quoting,
Mike
Rowe.
Yeah.
Well, I thought you were quoting Rocky.
Oh, Rocky. I was also quoting.
But I do love me some Mike Rowe.
Yeah, Mike Rowe's.
Mike Rowe works, dude.
Don't follow your passion, but take it with you.
Yeah, no, that was a good
one. And then
one.
Rocky it's not about how hard you can hit in life, but it's how hard you can get hit and keep getting up.
And you know the Wayne Gretzky one.
100% of shots you don't take, or you miss 100% of shots you don't take.
Exactly.
And actually, that was by Michael Scott.
Was it?
From The Office.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Where it said, you miss 100%, yeah, and then it said Wayne Gretzky, and then it said Michael Scott. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. That was funny.
Here we're getting coffee.
This is where the tears almost started.
Yeah, a little bit.
Look at us breathing deep.
It was hard.
I totally forgot we were playing this in the background.
Yeah. Look at that. You're starting to get a little glassy-eyed. We are at Trip Dog. So Trip Dog is my favorite coffee place to go in Salem. It's over off of Gaffin Road, right there by where 22's little on and off ramp.
Most of these, but I guess you would call them smaller carts. In comparison to the Black Rocks and the Dutch Bros and stuff like that. I don't usually get good coffee from places like this, and that dirty chai,
it's pretty good, right?
I couldn't stop drinking it.
I am notoriously fasted to drink, and you got a larger drink than I did, and you were done before I was.
It was so good. It was so good.
Linda's team, she's amazing.
And that's a weird little spot too. You would think it probably wouldn't get that much business, but they had cars just coming in.
I mean, all the dump traffic.
Oh yeah.
Everybody coming from Detroit. There's not coming from Detroit or going to Detroit.
Yeah.
There's not a coffee shop within the next 20 miles.
Yeah, and you need some Joe going that although let's be clear, that area do the speed limit, maybe 5 over.
Well, when you're coming down Gaffin, or when you're coming down Gaffin Hill, just kind of tap the brakes, stay in the right lane, because Marion County, and I've been noticing OSP as well.
Oh, yeah, that green Mustang.
They love sitting right there at that little Y, and they'll see you peek over, and at that point they already got you.
Yep,
you're done. You're done, son.
It's that I've seen that green Mustang there more times than
And you're buying the coffee?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Well, you had to pay for the dump, so.
Well, the show pays for the dump.
Yeah, that's fine.
The viewer pays for the dump, and we appreciate it.
Speaking of, it'd be really cool if you could get some massive sponsorships that could just set you off to where you didn't even have to drive the dump truck, but you did it because it's your passion.
Right. I wanted to move away from the sponsor model just because I don't want to hunt down sponsors, but I've had a few approach me that have been large enough for me to go, maybe I am a capitalist at the end of the day.
I'll take your money.
And
to a degree, there's certain places that you don't want to be tied to.
I still have morals.
Yeah.
But yeah,
isn't that weird? There's people out there that will not take money from places because they don't believe in what those places are doing.
I am very much one of those people. Yeah.
Same. We are most definitely those people.
Don't get me wrong. If your money spends, but I don't want your money.
Yeah.
Not because what does your money come with?
Is it usually expectations?
Right. Is it dance monkey dance? And if the song's good, I'll dance.
Well, that's another big thing. Back to the youth. We don't allow sponsors or politicians or anybody for that matter to use the youth that we bring through our places of business or event as show ponies. Because that's the number one thing that, and I'm not saying all politicians are like this, but it has happened with us before.
Right.
Hey, come up here and stand next to me. Let's get pictures. Blah blah blah. It's like no, back up, dude. Just be here and enjoy what maybe you helped.
That's punk.
Yeah, like fuck that, dude.
Yeah.
So, dirty chai.
Dirty chai. I got a small black coffee. It's dude. That's my go-to. I love a good small black coffee.
You're just begging for it.
I am.
Just give me that.
Just give it to me.
Just
give me that small black coffee. Ooh, might have to censor that card. I don't know if there was any card information.
Oh, good luck. There's not much on there.
we run a nonprofit. We run a nonprofit. There's no money.
No.
Enough to keep my lights on, and that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, we work really, really hard for what we got, and we're not living in a mansion or anything, but
right,
it's gonna be all right.
Yeah.
And this is right before we went to the dump, huh?
This is right before the dump, yeah. But yeah, so as far as the sponsorships, there have been a few people who have reached out and want to. I'm not opposed to it, but I would... The big thing that I don't want to do is Patreon or like from the viewers, because... And I've said this before on the podcast, and I'll say it here, is I'm not trying to cast shade on the city or on the government, because I feel like I can work with them, not opposed to them. But your tax dollars already go to the, like, cleaning up the city. And the city is working at cleaning it up. I see them now at the dump pretty regularly. I don't know if my show has anything to do with that. I won't be so self-centered to think that it does, but
maybe
it would be cool. But I don't want to take money from the audience, because their tax dollars are already technically supposed to be solving this problem.
So I'll hit you back on that one though. Once you're done saying what you're going to say.
What I was thinking, and we're coming out with some t-shirts. I want to merchandise this thing, because like it would be cool.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to be like, oh, the shirt I'm wearing, I'm not going to sell that shirt. That's my work shirt. I don't want somebody to think that
there's some sites out there that sell used clothing that you might be able might be able to do all right with some of your work shirts.
I don't know if somebody wants one of my work shirts.
A lot of people didn't think that they would want their stuff either, but they paid $1 for it, I guess.
Yeah, they're like, still smells like Stan.
Anyway,
God, that's not a smell you want. But we're thinking about we have some merchandise. We've tested. We're getting them on some shirts. We're gonna give them out here shortly, and then if they do well, then we'll probably end up selling them, and then the proceeds will go to cleaning up the city. And I would love to improve the quality, although we've talked about this. I think the video quality's, it's not terrible, but it's like the frame could be better. Like half your face is cut off here. And...
Yeah, it's probably for the best though. But I think that I want one of the first shirts. I'll buy one of the first shirts.
Okay.
Don't give it to me. 2, because 2 comes after A. I was talking to you about this. I really wanted to invest in what you're doing, but I don't know if like a nonprofit can invest in another for-profit. I don't know how that works, so I'd have to look into that.
Well, and like I was telling you, is I don't think like adding newer or different technology doesn't make it.
Well, because you got to turn on the old technology.
Well, this old technology. I just pointed to my head. It's the issue is it's not the technology, it's the user. Like this whole thing is because I forgot to turn on the microphones that are right above our heads.
There's a silver lining to this though. We got to hang out twice.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bite back on something. Patreon and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm not ever going to pretend that I am any sort of like authority on anything. But I will tell you something. If people believe in you, and I've seen this with a lot of different individuals, artists especially. If people believe in you,
right,
you don't have to ask for their money. You don't have to.
Oh, people are asking to give to the, and I'm like, it feels gross.
Just okay. Okay, and
I jump into trash for a living, and
right.
So for me to go, it feels gross.
Yeah, well, I think that kind of goes back to the like, I didn't want you to come out and help me with that heavy table.
Right.
Realistically,
which you should have.
It probably should have. Like, I almost hurt one of our employees.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do that.
Probably shouldn't do that, and you would have been.
Oh, I wouldn't have even come out and helped you lift it. I would have just brought my equipment out, and we would have just moved it easily.
Yeah, right? Yeah. So, I think we're a little stubborn, but if there's something good that money can do, that is going to heighten the experience for your viewer, I'm sure. If you can figure that out, it probably wouldn't be.
Put the call out and it's like, hey, if you want to pay for an episode and improve one thing about it, no, I don't. You buy the. I don't know.
So can we steal that idea from Diary of a CEO though?
Oh yes, yeah. So we came up with this. We're actually coming up the hill right now with our cups of coffee, and then we got to wrap up after we watch our awkward handshake.
Yeah, that was fun.
But the The asking a question. I didn't actually look that up.
Oh, okay.
But I have my phone here now. We could probably look it up.
Pull it up. So, Diary of a CEO. He's author. He's entrepreneur. Venture capitalist, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably.
And podcaster. And his podcast is really excellent. I love the format.
Haley showed it to you, right?
Well, Haley showed me the book, and it was funny because I was listening to the podcast. She was listening to his audiobook.
Okay.
And we didn't know either were listening to it at all. And then she was just like, "Oh, Diary of a CEO." I'm like, "Wait a second," you know what I mean? It was one of those moments. And but he's got this thing where he asks the person that he is interviewing to leave a question for the next one, and the interviewee doesn't know who the next one is going to be. So it's just an open-ended question.
I'm getting...
I just think
okay,
it's a
so
really cool idea.
it's not protected. Since it's an idea, it's not protected by copyright.
Uh-huh.
But I still would love to give credit where credit is due.
No, absolutely.
100%, absolutely his idea. If you haven't watched, Jesus Christ, my wheel is just... I got that loose Ford.
Yeah.
The Ford's got the... Nothing works yet. Everything runs.
Yep. The slop in that steering knuckle.
The idea is from Diary of a CEO, and it is it's essentially you ask the next guest a question, and then the next guest is going to be your wife.
Oh, okay.
Because you're part one and she's part two, so it won't be there. But
she can answer it though, and I would still ask, "What is your purpose?" And she'll tell you everything.
Right, but we've already filmed her, so the next person will be, "What is your purpose?" I serve the butter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yes.
You serve the butter.
No, I think that question really stands though, because it means something to me.
Yeah.
Because I honestly went through life just kind of.
That is a very hard question, because that's like, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right, and I never knew. I never had an idea.
Do you know now?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not know until I was 38 what
Right.
I wanted to be when I grew up.
Right.
Because I was in that really weird, like, I'm making it. Everything seems fine.
What was your weight that you guessed? It was like 860?
Oh, I'm sure it was just like something stupid, like 700 pounds on the dot. Just no, I think I said like 850 or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was wrong. But where was I? It was like, just kind of floating through life. I never had something driving me. I never had a driving force. Like kids, I love fiercely. But I never had like, man, I like cars. I'm a big car guy. I love anything mechanical. I love engineering and stuff like that. But I never had like a real passion driving me towards something.
Right.
And it wasn't until Haley brought me into this world to where I was able to actually tangibly, I was able to just feel and taste the effort and the success of doing this.
Right.
And then it just hit me like a freaking freight train.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you're
There's something intoxicating by the... for me, it was when we cleaned out the McKilney... I didn't know anything. I didn't know if junk removal was going to work for me or anything like that. And then when we cleaned out the McKilney floral shop there on Court Street, right across from the Book Bin and Bentley's Coffee and down the road from Coin Jam.
Yeah.
We cleaned that place out. That was 26 tons of trash.
Holy crap, dude.
7,000 square feet of hoarder just stocked to the packed. We actually uncovered a room that we missed on. We couldn't even see the room. We uncovered a room.
Dang.
And I was like, when we hit the room, I went to the owners and I was like, "Hey, I gotta change this." That was real awkward. I didn't like that. But anyways, seeing that after result and seeing the woman who, because it was her late mother's place of business, she had straight up tears in her eyes. She said, I haven't seen it like this since I was a little girl.
Wow.
And I was just like, at that moment, that was well, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life.
Right.
It's so intoxicating when you find the thing, when you change another person's life for the positive with hard work, sweat, tears, cuss words,
but
laughter.
with effectiveness.
Right.
Because she could have done that too, but it would have taken
what?
How many Kia trips to the dump? You know what I mean?
Well,
how much money, how much effort? Like, it would have been insurmountable. You guys come through and just absolutely kill it.
Yeah, it was 6 guys, 8 10-hour days.
Damn.
So it was 480 labor hours.
That was impressive.
And it was our first hoarder job, so we didn't know. Our hoarder jobs go much faster now.
Yeah.
We had a similar size, one about half the size, and it took us 2 days.
Okay.
So
we're
much faster at hoarder jobs now, but hoarders are an interesting breed of job because it is a very sensitive. A lot of it is actually trauma based. Turns out,
100%.
Like you collect all the things because if I surround myself in all the things, then they can't take them away from me.
Mm-hmm.
Or I need this because people take things away from me.
Bro, let me tell you something. Like, I've got, you see areas in my garage. Oh, I can use this in something.
Yeah.
I can use something. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things. And then I always revert back to, like, don't be like that TV show.
Right.
So there's a block. There's a chemical block or a memory block in my head that's just like, don't become that. Not you are incapable of becoming that.
Right.
I'm very much so capable of becoming this hoarder.
Right.
And just the right mental break, some point in time in my life or some circumstance changes.
Shit right there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
One of my circumstance changes, I very well could turn into that. You know what I mean? So I get it.
I didn't know it until I've interfaced with them, and I'm like, oh. So when I run into people who are like, I've got a lot of trauma, and I'm like,
these are hurt people.
You say you have a lot of trauma, but
yeah,
you don't show a lot of the signs. You show some of the signs, and I'm sure your trauma is your trauma, and I'm not trying to take that away from you. But I've seen real, up close, in your face, in your nose levels of trauma, like, and you have to go in there with just the professional. Now we're lifting out your big old bundle of glass.
I don't think I had the energy to do it myself this time.
Go out there with the bedside care of a surgeon, where you have to just be there and understand, and it's rough. It is rough.
Yeah. And yeah, that's where we had to rake it out and then sweep it all out.
Yeah.
That piano thing was still pretty cool. I've never seen the guts of a piano like that.
Yeah.
Until that day. So I learned something.
I learned something new. But yeah.
Something I've been told, because it's, again, I'm a truck driver.
Yeah.
I don't deal with a lot of people face to face, a lot of individuals. So there's things that I'm very sympathetic to a lot of things, but there's just a lot of stuff that I don't necessarily understand, which is fine. Yeah. But I'm not going to cast judgment or anything on somebody because I don't get it. But teach me. And one thing that I learned was, and I would do it. I would do it myself. Is just like, well, I'm not as traumatized as this person over here.
Right.
So my trauma doesn't matter.
That's fair.
And and then something was brought to my attention. It was just like, well, if this is the most trauma that this person has ever experienced in their life, that's extremely powerful to them.
Right.
And I could look at it going like, bitch.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like,
right.
You're crying over that? Well, it's the first time that kid ever stubbed his toe in his life.
Right.
That's extremely traumatic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We stub our toe, we're cursing, and it's still pretty traumatic. But it's just like, all right, suck it up, buttercup. This is the worst thing that person's ever been through.
Comparing traumas,
it's rough.
Commentary on modern society. Sure.
Yeah.
Like you can sit here and compare trauma all day, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fix anything.
And it also, in a lot of cases, it doesn't matter until it happens to you.
Right.
And I think, and that is a statement. That's not my belief.
I hope this happens to you so you understand what I'm going through.
But no. I think that's an understandable statement in the sense that, like, a lot of people have said that. It's like, I didn't believe that until it happened to me.
Right.
UFOs, Sasquatch, losing a finger, whatever it is. Like, it's not real until it happens to you. And then I think in that moment, peace. So we're getting closer to our awkward handshake.
Yeah, we are. But yeah, it doesn't, until it happens to you, you don't really know.
Yeah. And the problem is in the line of work that we're in, that we don't get to be the ones to prevent that trauma from happening.
Yeah, that's got to be hard. That's got to be.
You want to go back.
Yeah.
You
want to go back to the person that hurt the kid, and you'd be like, "Hey, I know a guy with a big black truck and a shovel on it.
100%.
I can make, and who has the ability to make things questionably disappear."
Or you got those kids that are sitting at home doing literally whatever the absolute fuck they want because they're
for legal purposes. For legal purposes, I can't get rid of a dead body.
Yeah, no, allegedly. But the mom and dad are strung out, half bent over. They're doing their thing, and it's like we don't get our line of work. We do not get to reverse that trauma.
You're just kind of stopping it and helping it heal.
We can't prevent that trauma,
right?
But it's going forward from there is what we specialize in. So
right.
So what do we got? We're about to find out
that it was actually 700 pounds.
Yeah, I was over here feeling really. Was it 700?
Yeah, it was 700.
Yeah, it's written on the window, so you would know.
Well, it's not written on the window yet.
Oh, that's true.
But it is now.
It is now. Yeah.
Yeah, we can't go back in time. We can't go undo the weight, but
88 miles per hour.
Which is why I was like, I don't want to redo this. I want to like capture this again because I don't want to go throw away more crap because I do want to throw away more crap, but I don't want to like.
Well, I'm pretty sure I asked you if I could get out of the truck while I was on the scale. That would have helped my numbers. They would have
been. Well, it would have made. Actually, they probably would have been okay with it.
It probably would have decalibrated the scale though.
No. No. So, coming to the end with our awkward handshake.
Yeah,
we've talked a lot about trauma and a lot about, the last few minutes have been trauma, and that's what's on my head.
This could have been 2 episodes.
This whole
thing.
Probably. I don't really put a time on the format. You know what I mean?
Saying, like, there's a lot of stuff that we talked about today.
Yeah.
That we didn't necessarily
talk about then. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything that we missed because we touched on just about everything.
Yeah. But what we need to now is figure out how people can support, get a hold of, come to Punx in the Park, enjoy, support.
Yeah.
How? What do people do? How do they get a hold of you?
So punxwithpurpose.org. That's PUNX withpurpose.org. punxinthepark.org. PUNX in the park.org. So you can get a hold of us in those places. You can go to the volunteer section, the donate section, the Punx in the Park sections, and just learn about us. Learn about what it is that we're doing. We are always starving for volunteers for the event day. We would also be more than happy to take all your money because what we do is extremely expensive. And so, like, feeding the youth is all the food trucks that come through, they might have $17, $20 plates. We pay $10 a meal for the youth. They get the same portion as the $20 plate from the trucks. That comes out of our pocket. So the donations help. August 31st at the Riverfront Gear Frank Amphitheater. Actually, we have both amphitheaters.
Woo!
Yeah, and the food truck area. From 11 to 6 on August 31st, the day before Labor Day. Bring your entire family is welcome. Okay, youth between the ages of 11 to 18 eat free. They get this is focused for them.
Right.
There are resources and there are activities that they can enjoy that are free for them. And so we got the clothing closet, the haircuts, and all those things. It's 11 to 18. Yeah, just come show up. If you haven't heard of us before, you don't know about us, just come to the event.
Where have you been?
Yeah. Where you been?
If you're a kid and you got a friend, bring a friend with them.
Yeah. I will say this though: if you think that you could use a resource or two, you have no idea how many are available to you. And it doesn't matter if you are with your friends group. You can win a prize by going and seeing every single resource booth that we have. And it doesn't matter how affluent you are. It doesn't matter if you have money or not. Prizes are freaking cool.
Yeah.
Go check out each one of these resource booths. Get your passport stamped. And if there's something there, then you can slip them a note and have them contact you later, or talk to them a little bit extra. Tell your friends, hey, I'll catch up. That way it's not obvious, because some of this stuff is pretty private.
Yeah. They'll
take care of you. And you're going to be in a cool spot that is really a big opportunity to help change your life for the better.
Yep. All right. Well, we're going to sit here and wait for the like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to say like, comment, and subscribe because I have to. And then we're going to watch this. And then once it's done, I'm going to cut the audio.
I think you're going to do that to me because I haven't done it yet at this point.
Is it?
I don't know.
It's like, comment, subscribe. Doing the whole thing.
The handshake.
It is kind of awkward. My mother-in-law just got here. I can hear in the background.
I just read your lips. You're like, so yeah. And then
so
you shot
yeah.
a snot rocket out the window. And
did I?
No. But I can't shut up. I got a lot to say about this stuff.
Subscribe. I'm just waiting for the awkward handshake.
Yeah,
because I'm not cutting it out. That was so good. That was classic comedy.
It was hilarious.
And also, if you're watching this far, thank you so much for going through all this torture.
You had to listen to our voices talk about a bunch of random shit for 2 hours.
Well, and then watch us talk about different random shit with no sound.
Yeah, no context to the video whatsoever. I'm still, was it 700?
Oh, you write it after.
Oh,
we stopped filming and then you write it.
I think I was telling you at this point about how good Tillamook beef jerky is and how it's like way superior to Werner beef, even though they are literally like 20 blocks from each other.
Listen, why are we talking about beef jerky?
Because we're a couple of beef sticks inside of a hot cab.
We are a couple of beef sticks. We're the long pig, right?
Pig.
That's what you said?
That's right.
Yeah, the long pig.
You gotta be careful with that one. That might trigger some people.
Oh. Yeah, let them be triggered.
We should get like a RGB dome light there that shines up red, white, and blue.
I can't. I got things that are coming. I'll tell you offline.
Okay.
I got plans.
Oh, I get the after show.
I mean, yeah, if you want.
That's the special stuff. I always get jealous of some of those guys that talk about some really secret shit.
Yeah. Afterwards, you want to be in the room where it happened.
Yeah, buddy.
Hamilton. That's a great musical. Love that musical.
I have not seen it.
Oh my God, you've got to watch Hamilton.
Oh yeah, there's Dude, I've got a mountain of stuff that...
Jesus Christ. You will not stop
I won't
talking.
shut up. But you're still listening, so
I
you're
still
complicit.
listen. Yeah, I am complicit in the conversational, the diatribe that is.
Look at those badass shirts, though.
They do look good.
We should have swapped them right then and there, though.
Just take them off so they could see our dad boobs.
Yeah, that way they knew it wasn't that bad, because honestly, this is not a good view.
We need to work on our pecs, dude. That's what we got to do.
I look like Pamela Anderson right there. Spitting image.
You are actually done with your coffee, and I'm still drinking coffee.
It was good. Of course, chai tea's pretty easy to drink.
Yeah.
I'm sure your coffee was really hot.
There's the like, comment, and subscribe. It's got to be. I'm playing with my ear. Bong, bong.
Is it because you're weird about asking for it?
There it is, right there. It feels weird. It's called action.
Yeah, well, you deserve it, though.
Come on,
People
catch it.
should like, comment, and subscribe.
They should. If you love what we're doing, you should.
I mean, honestly, you've listened this far. I figured those who listen this far would just start sending you money in the mail.
Yeah. You just call on or just send me just send it to my PayPal or whatever. I don't know. Venmo. Peace. There it is.
There it is.
Oh,
Well, it's
oh.
Opposing magnets.
All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Played it again.
These turn off after 30 minutes, by the way.
Shut the fuck up.